always do.
Hey, look at all these faces. Wow, I see so many people pouring in here.
In case Maggie barks.
Wow.
Hi, I see a lot of fun people.
I see a lot of people. I see Elizabeth Hersham. I see you there. You're at the top of my screen. Lynn Doherty, I see you. Wow, we have a lot of people, you guys. I see Chuck Connell.
The last time we're using her account, I guess.
Oh,
We should have used,
matter.
we should have used a free one. Free.
You would get the bigger picture.
Go through them.
Yeah, I see Flip. So we're going to get started in a second here. If you all can mute, that will be great.
Lucinda, I see you. I see Flip and Gail. I see Barb. Screens are coming in and out. I wonder where you all. I see Bob Howard in the corner. Hey, you guys, I can't wait to hear where you're all from and what you're doing. We have some things we're going to kind of share. Erica, you'll give me a heads up and I'll roll whenever you tell me. It's time to go. Start talking now.
Yeah.
We're live. All right, gang. Well, we're live and we're recording this for the folks that can't really join us. But if I don't know you, I'm Brad Kenney, the Executive Artistic Director at the Ogunquit Playhouse, and I'm joining you from Cole Porter land here in New York City, where we're working on the brand new musical version of High Society that's going to premiere at Ogunquit this year. I'll tell you all about that in a little bit. I think we're holding to have everybody mute on your end. Are we catching everybody? I'm testing for sound. I'm testing for sound. I think it's cleaning up. We've got a Shasha, whoever's that camera. I think that one's feeding back. Let's see. And well, great. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's our second year doing this. We call this. Can everybody hear me? Nope. Are we good now? Can everybody hear me? Thumbs up for sound.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, great. I think we corrected the sound. Thank you so much. So again, I'm Brad Kenney, Executive Artistic Director of the Playhouse. This is our Putting It Together program just for all of you. It's a private VIP members event where we're going to kind of tell you how we put it all together. You know, I think if you're new to us at the Playhouse or you haven't heard it since last fall, all of our shows at the Ogunquit Playhouse are bespoke, unique productions created just for us. One of the largest self-producing nonprofit regional theaters in the entire country. That means none of these shows are touring shows. They're all literally being created just for all of you by all of us. So all artisans making this all happen. And so we're going to take you behind the scenes of how some of those things happen, how we plan the season this year. And since it's happening right now in the room, in this room and on the other side of that wall, we'll even give you a sense of what's going on. And we've even got some folks that have already joined us in Ogunquit to start rehearsals for the first show. Before I get rolling, though, I have some friends here we want to introduce you to, and you'll let us know, hopefully, what you think about this second in the series of putting it together just for you folks. Some of the information might be slightly confidential. So it's just for you guys. So keep that tight if you can. And then eventually our PR and marketing departments will roll out some of this information for the public. But if it's okay with all of you, I might just let you in on some secrets. Sound good? Sounds good. All right. Sounds great. So out there, we've got Erica Strader-Daniels and our advancement team. We've got some new advancement team friends that have joined us this year. And so they're helping coordinate this all through the generosity of your members. But also my illustrious partner in business and in crime and in all things Playhouse, our very person we're fortunate to have is, of course, our wonderful managing director, Deborah Warren. So Deborah, I'm going to throw it over to you. You're muted.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There we go.
And you're muted again. There you go.
Yeah, no, that got it.
We got it.
Yes, the host has to unmute you when you talk.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, Brad's in New York City, as he said, hot off of rehearsals for High Society, which he's going to tell you all about, one of the shows in our season. I do want to give a shout out to our two new members of our advancement team, Natalie Martin. Yeah, there you are. She's waving down there. She's our new Deputy Director of Advancement. And Alexandra, where are you? Okay, there she is. She's waving and she's got a cocktail in hand. She's already fitting in. You're going to see her in the tent all during the season. So welcome to the new team. And of course, Erica, who's drinking water. I don't know what you're thinking. So put in the chat where you are zooming in from and what you are having for the cocktail hour. I am having a skinny margarita as per usual. I'm going to kick it back to Brad, and let's begin with what is Brad's 20th season at the Ogunquit Playhouse.
Well, thank you. And it's it's been quite an honor. And thanks for putting up with me for 20 years and helping us build the Playhouse. And I know some folks like Elizabeth Hersham and others have been here through all of it with us and helped bring me in. And we have some pretty special themes as we looked at this year, and we decided with myself and the senior leadership team and the entire staff at the Playhouse and our new works department and our board of directors, just what we really wanted to do for this year and what it was going to be like to celebrate not just my time for the past 20 years, but everything and all the ways I think that the Playhouse and our community and all of you have grown. And so that has definitely been a lot of the themes that we've talked about. But first up, where I am. So if you just joined us, I'm here in New York City in a place called Sunlight Studios. I'm on West 44th. And our New Works department and folks that have supported our New Works program has rented a number of rooms here because this starting today and the next 3 days, we're here in the city reading a brand new version of the Cole Porter musical, High Society. And so what that means is that we're literally commissioning a brand new book to the wonderful Cole Porter film. And I'll kind of fill you in on all those things. Looks like some folks are also putting in the chat where they are as well. And so we want to hear all of that, where you guys are coming from. So I'll dig into a number of the plays as we go through, but I guess the theme that we're talking about, like, what did we really want to do for this 20th year? That's about all of us in our past couple of decades. And so as we started to think about it, the word community came to mind for me, and the way that, when I came into the Playhouse, I think in the end of 2005, yes, it's been that long, and folks like Elizabeth and others brought me in. Ogunquit Playhouse was one of the most beloved theaters in the world, certainly in America, for being America's foremost summer theater. But it was about a $1 million summer stock theater that ran about 10 weeks of the year. And now, of course, you've stretched being a 30-week season, pretty much 26 to 30 weeks in the Playhouse proper. Then we go down to Portsmouth for an extra 3 to 4 weeks to bring us 30 weeks or longer. And that's currently in our historic building that was really just built for those 10 summer weeks. And so those days and months and weeks have all grown, and that budget that was about $1 million is about $18 million now. You are now the largest arts organization in the state of Maine, and that's an extraordinary thing that I certainly didn't do by myself, and the board and the staff didn't do. Was also the community. So when we look at the season and artistically we want to promote the programming for it and decide what to create, it was those thoughts, all the people that brought us together. What were stories that really lent into growth and people building things together, and really in a very human way, building communities. And so we're going to start with a show that's really all about human communities coming together, and then we'll end that way as well. And then we'll have some fun in the beginning. But it was about bringing communities together, doing things as a group, and then also we thought it might just be a time to reflect. While many of them are still with us and coming in and out of our building, but how about bringing back favorite performers we've all loved for these past 20 years, and maybe even some of our favorite shows. We'll pick a couple and bring 1 or 2 of those into the season as well. So it's a mix of some of the hottest Broadway things, of course, 2 major premieres, one which is a complete commissioned reworking, almost a world premiere of a new Cole Porter musical based on a very famous film or a couple films, then a true world premiere never heard before, that I'll tell you about in a minute. And then we'll go back to the end of the season with one of the most epic, luscious, and magnificent scores ever written. and in a huge epic way, we'll close our season again with a big story, but a story that's kind of based in the humans that were on that journey together. So, so there we go. So that is kind of how we based it. Old and new friends coming together, a sense of reunion, but Deborah, kind of communities coming together. And that's how we plan the season. I think we're back to you.
Okay, we're back. Yeah, I need to stay unmuted so I can pop in and out. Brad, we started rehearsal yesterday.
We did.
Was it yesterday, Tuesday, for the first show of the season? It's a show
Oh, boy.
so dear to my heart. I worked on it twice when it was in Los Angeles, and that's Come From Away. So why don't you tell us more about Come From Away?
It is incredible. And hold on, I'm going to make sure I can see everybody on my screen. But have people seen Come From Away before? What is their experience with it? Some people have, some people haven't. Okay, great. Well, Come From Away is, hold on, I'm going to switch over to, there we go, to the slides. So you should be seeing some slides on your screen. And first up is the logo for Come From Away. Well, it is a story of September 11th, and some people think of it as the September 11th musical, but it's really about the people that were on those planes that were asked to land in Newfoundland, just north of us, to our neighbors in Canada. And pretty much that you are here, and on the map is a big poster that was displayed to all those folks, because thousands of people in hundreds of planes were grounded in Gander, Newfoundland, one of the world's largest airports. It was never really built to handle anything like this on September 11th. And so while we take you through a touch of that day, it is really about those people being put on the ground. And this is an extraordinary musical. If some of you have joined us at the National Alliance of Musical Theater, which is a big musical theater program, it came from that as a 45-minute, kind of like a folk rock musical telling of what was a Tom Brokaw documentary, basically, that he had done on television about this town and how they reacted in what had been up to then kind of an unknown fashion on September 11th. And there were real people on those planes. They documented some of them. And this extraordinary husband and wife team turned it into a musical. And so it tells the story of a number of the couples and people that are on those planes. It is hysterically funny, heartbreaking. It is done in a percussive folk rock fashion almost. And it is a story that you will never forget and will want to see it over and over again. It took over the world. We knew it at the New Musicals Festival. 45 minutes, I said, this is going all the way. And it certainly have. Side note, one of our own board members and friend to a lot of you, Anne Ramsey Jenkins, was part of that festival and then became one of the producers as it definitely went onto Broadway and around the world. And Come From Away is still going around the world in its original production. But because of our alliance with it, we have been allowed to create a brand new production of the show. And I think we can roll to some other slides and see who we've got on here. But
what's going to be different about this particular version of Come From Away?
Well, in particular for the Ogunquit Playhouse production, our collaborator, Ricky Hines, is also one of our long-term collaborators. So we're bringing him back. And Ricky has directed a number of shows for us at Ogunquit, including Escape to Margaritaville. He's part of the original creative team on it. And he had an idea. In the great Ogunquit Playhouse tradition, he enjoys the actor-musician shows that we've always done, like Buddy Holly and $1 Million Quartet and those type of shows. So he had an idea, what if, when those people were stepping off the planes and they grabbed their luggage, some of them or all of them had instruments. And so what you're going to see in a way never done before is a brand new design by the incredible Nate Bertoni, who has given us a number of our sets at the Ogunquit Playhouse. And in that, it's built out of pieces of luggage. There you go. And a lot of those luggage pieces open up, and in them are their instruments, because this entire company is going to play the instruments for the show in a way never produced before with this. And so the entire score has been reworked to have this core group of performers sing, dance, act, break your heart, but also play all the instruments. You can see how the ceiling stretches out over your heads and the heads of the actors. And all of these pieces of luggage, of which there are hundreds, have been sculpted or found to create this one-of-a-kind production. Let's see what else we have for slides as we go forward. So here are some tricks. There's a lot of technology and electronics built into this set. And so it's literally going to transform, take you indoor and outdoor areas. As the band steps forward, cast members meld with it, sing, dance, and then meld back into their positions. It is really going to be seen in a way that you've never seen it happen before. You get shot out of a cannon with this thing. It is joyous, percussive, a little bit of folk, a little bit of rock and roll, and some of the most incredible storytelling you've ever witnessed. It'll take you back, you'll reflect, but really, I think in a way that gives you wonderful hope. Love for, yes, our neighbors to the north, but also what it's like to come to a community, especially in a place like Ogunquit, where a lot of us maybe didn't grow up there, and we all kind of come from away when we come to Ogunquit every season, but we form this community. And I think Come From Away is going to be very special there. So, like you've never seen it before, but hang on for this. And let's see what else we have.
The company.
So Mary Kate is one of the biggest stars on Broadway as, let's see the next slide, Elphaba on Wicked, of course. She's very, very famous. And one of the original Elphabas on Broadway and around the world. And so she's coming in as the character, let's go to the next slide, of Bev. And so an interesting thing here, we thought, since she was known so well as Wicked on Broadway, as taking flight, we thought she should also take flight as Captain Bev. An extraordinary famous Broadway actress who's coming. It's a big ensemble company, but if there's a lead, it's certainly Captain Bev. And Bev, like a lot of the other characters, are based on real people. And it's interesting, I'll tell you that we have some video that was because even the original Captain Bev sent us all videos and did hellos on the first day of rehearsal on Tuesday this week and sent some special wishes to all of us and the whole Ogunquit family. So we'll be posting those videos soon. But
the real Captain Bev was a female pilot, and she actually piloted the first plane that had an all-female crew.
Worldwide
An amazing person who's still around and with us, and she piloted one of those planes that landed in Gander.
Correct. Yeah, she's a big part of the story, and so we've been really, really fortunate with them and to bring it to life, especially with this cast. Let's see what we have next on the slides.
I will tell everybody that the production of Come From Away is selling like hotcakes. I have sold out matinees. If you haven't gotten your tickets, I'm sure you're all members, so you've already probably secured them, but it's selling like crazy. Best availability now are during weeknight performances. So of course we can help you with whatever you need, but it's selling super, super fast. It's going to be a big hit for us. So next up, of course, a classic, which Brad will tell you about. People call it probably the best musical ever written. And why would they say that about Guys and Dolls, Brad?
We consider it the perfect musical. And why is that? Well, it's certainly from the golden age of Broadway. It's based on the Runyon Land stories of Damon Runyon, but it was Frank Lester's idea to bring together Abe Burrows and some other great writers. And he wrote the music and lyrics for what became a hysterical comedy telling of the denizens of 1940s and 50s Times Square in a time where they're rolling the dice on their very lives. And it is filled with some of the funniest, most iconic and indelible characters of the golden age of Broadway. And with some of the most popular songs. Yes, Bushel and a Peck, Sit Down, You're Rocking the Boat. And of course, the wonderful, iconic song that Sinatra and so many others sang, Luck Be a Lady. And so all of that is going to come together. The wonderful Emmy Award-winning director Al Blackstone will make his Ogunquit Playhouse debut with all of us. There we have Faith Prince and Nathan Lane. And the reason we're kind of showing you this is it made the two of them massive, both television, film, and Broadway stars, but those costumes have been fully restored. These are the original Broadway wardrobe for the original 1995, I believe, revival of Guys and Dolls. Let's see what the next slide is there too. There's Al, Emmy Award winner for television, So You Think You Can Dance, is coming to direct and choreograph the show for us. But this production is going to be very new. It's going to have a lot of technology that's new to the show as well, but also a brand new set design for Ogunquit by Adam Koch. Adam's designed incredible shows for you, like Heartbreak Hotel, but also your Hunchback of Notre Dame. He just made his recent Broadway debut with the new Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World on Broadway. So he's coming back to the Ogunquit Playhouse to give us a show that starts in the seedy parts of Broadway during the day, but in the evening, the show comes to life, of course, in all of its color and its spectacle. And we're fortunate to also have, if you go to the next slide, I believe, all the original Broadway costumes that have been stored for Ogunquit by William Ivy Long and that are going through full renovation for your production. So while that gritty day during the day turns into Technicolor, Guys and Dolls that you know and love for Broadway, all being brought to the Ogunquit Playhouse for the first time in decades to our stage. And I think there's even another one of Miss Adelaide and Bushel and a Peck. So these very costumes will be graced on our stage, undergoing full renovation for them as well. And we have not told the world yet, but the wonderful Broadway star, again, we're keeping this inside the club, but he was the star of Mrs. Doubtfire and Chaplin, I think a two-time Tony Award nominee. Rob McClure is going to be the star as Nathan Detroit of your Ogunquit Guys and Dolls. So we don't tell anybody that. We haven't announced it yet, but he's just come off of Mrs. Doubtfire, and so he's going to, for the first time ever, be making his Ogunquit Playhouse debut. And we'll soon roll out announcements for some other big, iconic Broadway originating role types that are going to fill out those other four of Miss Adelaide playing opposite him, Sarah Brown, then of course the iconic Sky Masterson. So get ready for Guys and Dolls. It's going to be splashy, wonderful, and even with some technology as well. And let's see what the last slide is. I think for Guys and Dolls, this is our last Guys and Dolls slide. That's it. All right, Deborah, I think we're ready to move on to the next one.
Yeah, and then also to celebrate the opening of the season, we're having an event on Sunday, which will be a gambling event. It's called Rockin' the Boat, which is in tribute to Guys and Dolls. We're going to be in the tent on Sunday, and there will be all sorts of games. You'll be able to enter to win tickets, roulette, Texas Hold'em, bingo, a whole bunch of things. And that's all themed for the incredible Guys and Dolls. Brad, after Guys and Dolls, we have another revival. It is High Society. Tell us about High Society, the Cole Porter musical.
That's true. Thank you. Well, Deborah gets some of the credit for this, I have to say, because as we were looking through a lot of titles, she's like, you know what? It's your 20th. And you're going to give us Guys and Dolls. You're going to give us big shows. You're going to give us world premieres. But what is something you're passionate about? And something that could reflect the kind of canon of the Ogunquit Playhouse. And I said, well, I've always wanted to take a crack at High Society. It, of course, was the original Philadelphia story, which was Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant in its original stage production and then film. And then the iconic Cole Porter took on a musical version of it that starred none other than Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly in her final film role of her life, wearing the ring that the Prince Rainier had given her. And then, of course, Bing Crosby. And then the other major role was played by Frank Sinatra. And so they created the film. And it became iconic, wonderful, wonderful songs. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Well, Did You Ever? What a Swell Party It Is. All written for the musical film. And then in the 90s, Broadway decided to try to put it on stage. And just between us, they did. But they really retreated from the original material of the Philadelphia story and High Society. And so I always felt it was one of my favorite MGM musical films. And it takes, there's moments where they actually go to the seacoast of Maine in the film of the musical. And I said, well, I would love to go back and touch that. Well, it was never really a big success. I said, yes, but we've done so many premieres. And in the past 20 years, thanks a lot to all of you and your support and our New Works program and everyone at the Playhouse who makes these shows so great. Marketing them, selling them, producing them, the costumes, the level of the talent. I said, maybe they'll let us take a crack at it. And so we made some phone calls over the end of the last year. And we sent out some messages to the folks that own the estates of these companies, including the Cole Porter Trust themselves. And we said, we have a dream. And as opposed to High Society being what it was on stage, what if in the style of maybe like Crazy for You that you all loved last year so much, big, rollicking, tap dancing shows, what if High Society felt like that? More like the film with Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra, having too much champagne in the library and getting kind of silly. Why doesn't it feel like that on stage? And the Cole Porter Trust just thought it was a wonderful idea. And they said it would be the greatest thing to let the Ogunquit Playhouse commission this and create a brand new premiere production of High Society. So they have given us, Cone of Silence, the full rights to all of Cole Porter's music. We have gone through and curated a list of 20 new big platinum Cole Porter songs. I think 5 of which were in the original film, because there's the title song written for it. And then you've got jazz, some big, big tunes. Of course, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And What a Swell Party It Is, Well, Did You Ever? But a lot of other ones that have never been part of high society. Curated those, they listed it. And then the wonderful Matt Lenz joined forces with myself and BT McNichol. Matt Lenz is going to direct it. He's giving you things like Victor Victoria and other big shows we've done here. And then BT McNichol has given us so many shows at the Playhouse. But BT is also well known for writing The It Girl and 101 Dalmatians as a book writer. And then I said, well, what if we brought to the stage Jeffrey Denman, one of Broadway's greatest song and dance men, and he created big new tap dancing shows. And, you know, Jeffrey Denman, you guys saw him in White Christmas, but he created the role of Phil in White Christmas. So some of the biggest percussive tap dancing shows we've ever done, taking that kind of work and putting it into high society. And so we've got BT McNichol, we've got Matt Lenz, we've got Jeffrey Denman, and then Sam Davis, who right now, just one of his shows, Death Becomes Her, was nominated this morning for a Tony Award for Best Score, is in the room with us as we speak, because he and Greg Jarrett are orchestrating for you with this team all of those Cole Porter songs in a big, new, splendid, a la Crazy for You tap dancing way. So High Society is going to sing and dance like you have never seen it before. There's Alexander Dodge. He designed the Broadway set for Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. He's designing this brand new setting on a revolving stage, again, for your high society, as it's never been seen before. And you know, we're also going to do in the film, Louis Armstrong plays Charlie, which is a character. It's kind of a fancy North Atlantic Katharine Hepburn way of saying Charlie. Charlie is a jazz musician, and they take the whole story and they bring it to Newport for the Newport Jazz Festival. Well, that's never been done since that original film. We, with special permission, are returning it to New England just for the Ogunquit Playhouse production. And you're going to have some actor, musician, jazz band right in the middle of your story. So we're taking Charlie and the jazz band back. We're taking it back to New England, brand new song and dance arrangements. We're in the room reading the script today for the first time. It is flying by the seat of its pants, laugh out loud funny. There's some of the film pictures. There's Louis Armstrong, who played Charlie, of course, Sinatra, Grace Kelly in her last film role, and Bing Crosby. We think it's time that high society return to that fun. Maybe everybody will have just a little bit too much champagne, and they'll be singing and dancing, and maybe they'll misbehave just a little bit. So like you've never seen before.
Of course, these iconic actors played C.K. Dexter Haven, Bing Crosby in High Society, and Cary Grant in Philadelphia, same character.
That's correct.
Who will be playing that role in our production?
Okay, this is a cone of silence, right? We can't share, but there's Newport. I love that slide because that is Rosecliff, by the way, where the original Great Gatsby film was set, and that's where we're setting it. So the set design is going to be more evocative of Rosecliff and Newport, and I think that's CK's house, actually. Dexter, and I'm glad, Deborah, you brought up Dexter because, well, there's someone who's kind of become family to us at the Ogunquit Playhouse. It's kind of our great song and dance man. And he shared the role of Harold Hill on Broadway with none other than Hugh Jackman. And then he came to us at Ogunquit, let us know he's actually originally from New Hampshire, and that's Max Clayton. And so Max Clayton is stepping out of major Broadway shows right now to come home to all of you, Cone of Silence, to be the great song and dance man, originally played by Cary Grant and then Bing Crosby. And that will be Max Clayton as Dexter. And so get ready. And we're filling the rest of them. We're doing some readings in the city now. We have some pretty exciting offers out to some Hollywood and Broadway stars for this show.
Brad, I want to remind you that you had this idea during Singing in the Rain. You came out of a matinee of Singing in the Rain after watching Max do his unbelievable, tread in the water. And you said, gosh, I could see him in high society. I think I really want to take a crack at that. And that was 2 years ago. And it's taken this long to kind of think through creatively how to make those changes. So I'm super excited that you're taking on this challenge, super excited for what we're actually going to be putting on the stage this summer. It's going to be the highlight, along with the other productions, of course, that we have.
Thank you, Deborah. Thanks for believing in us. And I appreciate you being willing to lead the team and the advancement department and the marketing department, and saying, because you know what, guys, we just read this for the first time today. We heard it out loud and everybody turned. Can I tell them who was in the reading today? Will I get in trouble? That might get me in trouble.
Yeah,
But we
no.
had, don't. Okay. No, sorry. Well, Max was there, but we had some big TV stars in the room today, and they ran up to me and said, this is going to be so good at Ogunquit because they're just going to love it, because it's fun and a little naughty and a little drunk at times, but really, really silly.
Well, that's
And
summer in Ogunquit. So
very summer ago.
after the champagne bubbles of Cole Porter, of course, we have Frank Lesser in Guys and Dolls, and then the beautiful music of Come From Away. How about some rock and roll?
That's true. Well, I was talking to the team, and we do so much with things like My Best Friend's Wedding, which came from London, and a lot of our shows go back and forth to London. You are kind of that #1 conduit in the United States. And I was in some meetings last year looking at a number of different shows. One was actually Burlesque, which is going to go into the West End, and this London producer sent me out to look at it. And I'm at his table in his office, and he had a bunch of scripts, and I saw something, and I pointed at it, and I said, "What's that?" And it was interesting because at that moment I was working with you, Deborah, and the leadership team. And I'm thinking, if we're really going to go back to what people love about us, yes, it's these huge revivals. It's these brand new Broadway shows. It's these edgy, it's Hunchback, it's Les Mis. But people love us for rock and roll just as well, right? And they love us for Buddy Holly and Heartbreak Hotel, premiering that world premiere. And then, of course, our $1 Million Quartet that keeps coming back, Nat Segree and all those people. So I would love to have something like that. So we looked at actually bringing Buddy Holly back. There I was sitting in this West End producer's office, and on his desk was a script. He said, well, I want to talk to you about that. And it was a script, and all it just said was, When Elvis Met the Beatles. And I said, what's that? That sounds like us. And I said, did that actually happen? And he said, it did happen. So I called Deborah from London. She gets on the internet. She looks and she goes, oh my God, it was 60 years ago this year. And so in a full rock and roll actor musician, all the way out to the walls, like $1 Million Quartet, Buddy Holly, Heartbreak Hotel, we are going to bring the story of that one night 60 years ago this year, when the Beatles were so fascinated with that Elvis Presley, who had come before them, done mirroring versions of the Ed Sullivan show. There came one night in Beverly Hills when they knocked on his door, and the door opened, and there was Elvis Presley and John, Ringo, George, and Paul, all in one room, one night only. Priscilla's there. She gets messy with Ringo. There's a lot of music. We take you through, of course, we know a lot of the story of Elvis, but then we're going to see the Beatles. There's mirroring. I never even knew this, but John Lennon and Elvis Presley were a thing, and they had their own lives mirrored each other's. And this is an incredible rock and roll story with all of the songs you want to hear. You forget exactly even how we know a lot of the Elvis, and it's all there, but then who they influenced and other singers that were influenced by them will mirror some of those songs, and then you'll hear the Beatles songs almost like in Jersey Boys as it grows song by song. And then at the end of Act 1, bang, they're all together. And there's stuff you don't know, and it's real, and it happened. It's actually was documented by reporter who was able to be in the room. He couldn't even take one photo, but he runs, spoiler alert, into the bathroom different times and notes as things go on. It really happened, and we have the worldwide rights to bring this to stage.
And who is directing it?
So Hunter Foster is, of course, the iconic Broadway royalty family. He's been on your stage a number of times. He gave us, of course, Little Shop of Horrors last year, but he created the wonderful $1 Million Quartet that's gone from Ogunquit to Paper Mill and around the world, and now come back to us a number of times. So Hunter was the first one I called. And I said, you know what, I have this script, and I would like to send it to you and have a conversation with you about it. He read it off the record. He said, Brad, this actually reads better than the very first $1 Million Quartet script. It's that good. And so him and I started. We then had some meetings. For music, what's our next slide on this? Let's see what's next. It's great. So to the right, there's John Bannister. I met John Bannister probably 15 years ago in the Buddy Holly world. He's the one who created the musical stylings of all that rock and roll that brought the Buddy Holly story to stage. He's the guy I collaborated on with Harper Guitell. I said, if I get Hunter, Elvis and the Beatles, and John Bannister for the music, it is going to be extraordinary. He said yes, came down from Canada. And then to the left is Klara Zeglerova. She's known to the world. She designed the original Sister Act for Broadway, but most importantly, Clara's world famous for Jersey Boys. And so she gave us the world the settings for Jersey Boys and those iconic sets. Let's see the next slide. And Deborah, cut me off if I keep rambling. And there's Andrea Grody. So she is going to combine with, so while John Bannister gets in, he teaches them all how to play the instruments. So each of them, of course, Elvis, but also John, Paul, Ringo, and George are all going to be wailing the instruments, Ringo on the drums for real right in front of you as they create their own styles and then push them together. And so Andrea, big Broadway orchestrator, is going to join forces with John Bannister and Hunter. So it not only sounds like the gritty rock we want to hear, but then turn it into a big Broadway score. Guys, this is a world premiere. It already has its Broadway and West End producers attached to it. Our producing partners are, yes, the folks from the West End who are creating Burlesque and other shows over there, but your Broadway commercial partners to move it into the city are none other than the folks that have given the world Moulin Rouge and The Outsiders. So this is 5-star, top level, and congratulations really to our New Works department, our Ogunquit team, all the folks that produce the shows, you guys that help the New Works program and support our yearly operating funds and all those things, because that's the level of production that got Cole Porter to say yes, these guys to come to the table, but also those big Broadway and London producers to say, give it to Ogunquit. This is where this title belongs. So congratulations to all of you. That is major trust from this industry that you get to introduce these titles to the world.
Of course, last year we had a world premiere, which was My Best Friend's Wedding, which was a super successful show. People absolutely loved that show. Thumbs up, everybody, for My Best Friend's Wedding. I'm sure you had a great time there. So we're excited for another world premiere. This is the set we're looking at here?
This is it. This is Clara's first crack at the set. And so do we have this one slide? Or does it morphs? So this is the environment of when Elvis met the Beatles. So it feels like a rock concert at times, but at times this will morph into everything from Sun Record Studios, as we see Elvis come up, of course, as we know from $1 Million Quartet. But then at other times, we're going to be sitting in the groovy pad of Elvis and Priscilla with both of them there while they're playing pool with Ringo Starr in their home. And so this will transform. It has video embedded into it, a lot of lighting effects. It's literally going to transform in a lot of different ways. And maybe an event like that will just happen at the end of it. So get ready for some good old-fashioned actor-musician rock and roll. You're the first people anywhere in the world to see it before Broadway and London. And then, of course, it should be out there for a very long time. It's looking really good.
Excellent. And so for the last show of the season, you wanted to do something that was a big grand musical. And I think what you came up with, Brad, really epitomizes that. Titanic as one of the best scores I think I've ever heard on Broadway.
Ever written.
Ever written.
No question. It is one of the biggest, massive orchestral shows. It better be. It's an epic, epic title. How are you going to put this on stage? We will. Adam Koch, again, is returning, like Hunchback and also Guys and Dolls this year, to design a magnificent hydraulic set for it. There he is, I believe, doing a Broadway show. And so Adam is designing your Titanic after giving you so many different shows. Go back one slide. Who was going to put it on stage for us and join and be my partner on this? This is Sean Carrison. He gave you the Hunchback of Notre Dame. He gave you your Les Mis with Cameron Mackintosh. He gave you the Witches of Eastwick when we worked with Cameron Mackintosh. My Fair Lady, South Pacific at Ogunquit, these huge, epic stories. I knew it had to be him. I was over in London. He started to well up. I said, we're going to do something. It's my 20th. You have to come back for it. We're bringing friends and family back. We have never told this story at Ogunquit. We need this to be this amazing piece. It is one of the most beautiful scores ever written. If you love Les Mis, if you liked Hunchback, we think we understand the journey, but in the sense of community and like Come From Away, it is about the people that were on this ship. Some will make it, some may not. But what did they actually go through? Their humor, their joy, it's hysterically funny. There's big song and dance numbers. We have also held for Ogunquit all of the original spectacular Broadway costumes that have been preserved for us and archived. And they are being all restored for the Playhouse. I don't think those are them, by the way. They are much more extraordinary than that. I don't think those are them either. Think that and bigger. Huge feathers coming out of hats. And so they're being restored. I saw them and visited with them. They go on for racks and racks in a huge warehouse. This is going to be a visual feast like you haven't had probably since like Hunchback. But think of it with massive costuming and one of the largest orchestras and casts we've ever put on the stage at Ogunquit. It is a beautiful telling of it. And it brings us back to these people that have to come through, overcome huge objectives. They'll sing, they'll dance, and then they're going to, many of them, overcome one of the biggest challenges of their lives or ever in recorded history. But what a sumptuous and beautiful way to be able to end what is all of our really anniversary, you know, inventing our new Ogunquit Playhouse community that's now, because of all of you, endured decades. And so we thought we'd run it up. If you saw Ragtime, something like that, that's what this is going to feel like.
It's very much like Ragtime. And I'm so struck by the fact that we have, as Mitch, you pointed out, we have these wonderful bookends to the season with Come From Away and then Titanic, which, you know, really speaks to the core stories that these people went through.
Human stories.
Human stories. And honestly, like the location that we're in just epitomizes both of those shows.
I agree.
We end, the last show ends in November, and then what happens? It's Christmas time.
It's Christmas, and so we are very happy to bring back our perennial title at the Music Hall. 3 weeks only, I think it's already on sale, of White Christmas. And so we specifically do that because we own, of course, all the original Broadway sets. All of those have been restored and are returning to the Music Hall. We'll have an extraordinary cast we're starting to put together right now. And we shipped over at a cost of more than $100,000 all the original London costumes because they were bigger than the Broadway costumes. So you have all the original London costumes, the huge velvet gowns and red suits for the big finale. Maybe it'll snow, but this is what really launched our partnership with the Music Hall and got everybody a little frosty inside the room. And so it's been a number of years since way before the pandemic, since we've touched White Christmas again. We've been asked for it repeatedly. And so after a couple of years of negotiating it, the world stopped and Ogunquit is once again going to touch White Christmas for just 3 weeks this time to round out the 20th year to bring friends and family back. So we're pretty excited.
Put on your cozy sweater and grab a cup of cocoa for the White Christmas at the Music Hall.
Right.
There is one more event that we will have this summer. Of course, this is Brad's 20th year, and we thought very fitting to throw him a little party. And that will be a night to remember with Bernadette Peters. Yes, the Bernadette Peters, who actually performed at the Ogunquit Playhouse when she was 19 years old. And it was in a little known musical. We actually found her bio from the period. But she will be giving a concert on August 4th. Tickets will go on sale in a few weeks. And it will be an amazing event. There will be cocktails on the lawn. Afterwards, we will go to the Cliff House and celebrate Brad with a little tribute dinner. But first, a concert with the iconic Bernadette Peters.
Thank you for doing that, Deborah. It's quite an honor. And I love the fact that you're even bringing back one of our own, keeping it in the theme. And so
yeah,
how honored and how thrilled that she wants to come back home to Ogunquit, where she got some of her career started, actually.
that's right. So that is the season. I want to open it up to any questions. If our wonderful host could unmute, we will take a question from the audience. Oh, I see you, Flip Morgan. Can we unmute Flip? No?
Okay, now I'm unmuted.
There
So,
you go.
Brad, thank you for all that. And I know that you're 20 years here, but you've started earlier than that as artistic director elsewhere. And I'm wondering, what would you pass on to your younger self that you know now that you didn't know then? What would be one or two things that you wish you knew then, now in retrospect?
Wow. I think I can say it in one phrase. believe in yourself and the people with you. Not that I didn't believe in them, but in thinking about everything we've been able to accomplish, Flip. Even think of, you're sitting there with Gail, I think, and that was Worcester, by the way. I know we got some Worcester people on here, but the Morgans and certainly myself, I ran Foothills Theater. That's my second of 3 theaters. And God, getting to the Ogunquit Playhouse, I was such a fan of it. And I always aspired, I would go to the beach in Ogunquit and looked at it, and to see how it's grown and the strength that we move forward with in our board and our donors, our staff. And we've got Deborah, we've got Erica, we call ourselves the Avengers, Flip. And just, I have this incredible team that work alongside me and that challenge me, hold me accountable to give you the best I can give you. And we can do anything. And I think we followed our instinct, we followed our talent. And we were very blessed, I think all of us on this call, to land into a place like the Seacoast in a town like Ogunquit that had this extraordinary home of a playhouse that needed to be cared for again, because John Lane had passed away in 2000. But it is an amazing thought to go back. What would I tell all of them, and to Elizabeth and to me and to the others, and say, believe in yourselves, keep doing the good work, keep moving forward, because you're going to be the best. And I got to tell you, gang, I don't brag. I don't like to brag, but the fact that you're who they call to do these titles, and you are where Cole Porter wants his work recreated for world premieres, and even Elvis and the Beatles do, you can do the best work there is, and we're doing it. So I think it's believe in yourselves. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Dream big, Brad.
Dream big.
We had a question about Sally Struthers.
Sure.
Sally coming back?
Yeah, we're texting every day. You all watching her on the Ted Danson show? You saw her on that? Thumbs up if you haven't. You have to see it. It's hysterical. It's on Netflix. Is that what it's on? Netflix. Okay, cone of silence. Can't tell anybody. We're into silence. They haven't told anyone yet, but although that season ended and then Ted Danson and gang left San Francisco, you can't tell anyone. I deny I would say this. It just might be that Struthers is returning for season 2. So we're in a bit of a limbo right now, Deborah. But she very much wants to come back. I have 2 ideas for her. And right now, it might just be that Ted Danson's asked her to do the first 2 episodes of the 2nd season. If you saw how the first season ended, she's one of the stars of this brand new TV show. And she's amazing. You'll be so proud of her. And hysterical, of course, as we know. But right now she's in 2 of the 6 or 8 episodes. So if it keeps going, I then have to move her to another show. But I have a couple ideas. She definitely wants to come back. We are home. She's doing great. I think she's going to be 78. God bless her. It says it on Wikipedia, so I guess I can say it. But oh yeah, she wouldn't miss this year for the life of her. And I actually texted her recently. There's a picture I have a bookcase on my wall where I have even John Lane's shoes and his hat, and then a lot of my mementos. And Struthers gives me a gift every year. But I got a picture of her and my 2 dogs from 2005 when we first met, and then a picture. Then she gave me 2 tap shoes for Crazy for You, which she was in last year, and they happened to be next to each other. And so I texted her. I took a picture of them, and I texted her. I said, "Hey, what dreams are we going to create this year for people?" And so she came right back, and she was just like, "You are my life, and you're home." And so, aren't we fortunate that all of you have embraced this extraordinarily talented human who's been at the Playhouse longer than I have, like Elizabeth. She's been around longer than me. So we're on it. I got 2, but something tells me she's going to be around a little more than that, because I think we have to celebrate all of us. So yes, she's coming back. I'll know soon. I hope.
Any other questions? Any hands raised? And I love that you're in the cone of silence.
We'll deny it. I could be in big trouble
my
with Ted
gosh.
Danson.
So some of you we will see next 2 weeks, right? We've got a member meetup at Jonathan's. Sunday, we've got Rockin' the Boat. So if you want to try and win some raffle prizes and play some poker, come on over. And then we start the season, and it's happening.
Deborah, do you play poker? You're probably a card shark.
Yes, I do, Brad, and I actually am pretty darn good at it.
No
So-
surprise. No surprise. I played some gin rummy with with Deborah. I'm telling you, I don't know if you want to bet with her, but if she
Yeah.
asks you to bet, then you should. She's pretty sharp.
Well, thank you to the advancement team for putting this together. We will see you at Jonathan's. We will see you at the Playhouse. We can't wait to open up our beautiful building. It is nearly spring. Things are blooming here, and we can't wait for the shows to get up and running. And we can't wait to see you all. So thank you so much for joining.
See you really soon now. Bye, you guys.
Thanks, everyone.